Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build and my very first speed build of 2021. I am so thrilled to see 2020 go. However, not much has changed quite yet. I'm not gonna lie. I did take 2 weeks off from uploading videos and content creation, and I have to be honest with you, it felt so good. I absolutely love The Sims and I love what I do, but taking some time off for Christmas and New Year's was exactly what I needed to feel, I think, a bit more rejuvenated. And to be totally honest, like, I love The Sims. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't love The Sims, but I spend so much time actually playing the game off camera over the last 2 weeks. So did I take a break from putting it on YouTube? Yeah, but I definitely played The Sims like pretty much for hours upon hours every single day during this entire break, except for when I was, celebrating the holidays and whatnot. But yeah, I actually made a legacy family and I have been playing with them for the past couple of weeks, and oh my gosh, I forgot how much I loved playing the game, which I know is kind of I don't know, people have mixed opinions on gameplay and actually playing the game with Sims and stuff like that, but I love storytelling in The Sims, as you guys have probably been able to tell from like my Let's Plays and stuff like that, and all of like the background that I give Sims when I make particular homes. So I don't know, playing a family off camera was so much freaking fun. I've been taking like screenshots for storytelling, and I don't know if I'm going to share every change in the family as it develops, but I actually did share a photo of this legacy family over on Twitter. So if you guys are curious, that is my current off-camera family. And to talk about this build, I am so excited to share it because I actually did this one prior to my break, but I'm actually recording the voiceover kind of sort of after the break. In the midst of the break, let's just go with that. But we're getting very close to the end. Anyway, so this is, I think I'm going to call it a country family home. I'm not quite sure. I was going to call it like a rustic family home, but I just did a base game build that was kind of rustic, and I don't know. It is kind of a country-ish home. It's kind of for gardeners as well. I don't really know what I'm going to call it yet. We'll figure that out. But I did make these two little greenhouses with these roof pieces outside, which I love doing. I know I'm not the only one that does this, but I am building on the slot in Windenburg simply because I knew I could make a bigger home for this family, as well as some places for some outdoor activities. So I made these little greenhouses, and I love the structure of the house. It almost resembles a farmhouse, but not quite, if you know what I mean. Like, it kind of sort of does because it has a bit of a farmer's porch, but it's not quite a farmhouse. And I loved using this paneling from, I believe it was, oh gosh, is it Island Living? Yeah, it's from Island Living. And I love coupling it with these cats and dogs doors and all of this nice shrubbery from a mix of the debug menu, but also just the build and buy. I just really love how it came together. And if you guys actually haven't noticed too, I think this is the first time I'm doing it, but I'm not sure, is I am using my regular reshade, which is Light Brigade by Hey Harry, which I have been keeping for my builds for a very long time. I kind of toyed around with the Dove preset for building, but I kept it to screenshots mainly at this point. But there is a setting, and now that I want to talk about it, I forget what it is, but there's basically a setting that kind of adds this softness to the game and also adds a little bit of depth and shadow. And I realized it was just a reshade setting, so it wasn't specific to the Dove preset. So what I did is I turned it on with my regular building preset, and I love how it looks because it has all of the bright color that I was looking for in a reshade and to bring kind of life to the game, but it also adds some shadow and depth, and I don't know, it really just rounds things out in a really nice way, in my opinion. So hopefully you guys enjoy the subtle difference. I've really been enjoying it, and I've basically recorded all of my builds leading up to this point with it, so it's going to be showing up. But anyway, I just thought I would mention it because I do get a lot of questions about the reshade. So for building, I use Light Brigade by Hey Harry, and I've made some tweaks for my own personal preferences. And then I use the Dove reshade for screenshots, but I also do edit those screenshots in the editing process when I'm making videos. So they do look a little bit different there too. And Oh, and I've had questions about the red shelf, so I'll go ahead and mention it again. I know I don't mention it in every video because that would be probably kind of annoying to a lot of you guys that watch like every video that I put out, but the red shelf is called the OMSP shelf, and that is a custom content object that allows you to raise objects to whatever height you would like them to be raised to. So if you guys are looking for that, all of those things, the reshades and that shelf, are linked in the About section on my channel, so you guys can go check them out and put them in your game if you would like. And now I'm working on the greenhouses, which of course there are going to be some planter boxes and some other activities. So I ended up putting, I believe, a flower arranging station and a woodworking bench. So the flower arranging station is in one, the woodworking bench is in the other. That was a little bit of a mouthful. And there are varying sizes of like gardening plots and whatnot out there too. And I also, I do this a lot as I stack a few of them to make it look like there's like a stack of gardening plots, but they do make them unusable, which I think goes without saying, but just if you guys were wondering, the ones out front, outside of the greenhouse there, they won't actually be usable, but I don't know, I just like how they look, and I love making these greenhouses. I don't do it a lot just because I make them all look the same. I was kind of struggling on how to make them a bit different here, but I think I found a healthy way to do that, but I just really like them. And if you guys didn't really catch like the building process, you literally place a roof piece down and then you use the glass roof. And if you make it tall enough, you can place a door and your Sims can use it just like they can a regular room or like a house or something like that. So I think it's so freaking cool. And I don't even remember where I picked that trick up from. I had seen tons of people do it, but I can't even think of the original person that I saw do it. I don't even know who came up with it originally. So it's a mystery to me. But now I'm kind of wrapping up the decorations out here as well as the landscaping. And then we end up moving on to the interior, which I struggled with. I struggled with it, and I think it was because I really wanted to gravitate towards a certain look, which I thought was going to be super rustic, but I think it's kind of a healthy mix of like farmhouse and rustic, which I don't even know if that's accurate, but we are on to the interior, working out the floor plan, and I believe this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. I could be incorrect, so we'll kind of see how it goes here. Like I said, I built this kind of prior to my break, and now I'm recording as my break is coming to an end. So I'm going to be remembering a lot of things as I go through and do this voiceover. But there was actually a first attempt at kind of the color scheme as well as some of the different floorings that I used. I don't know, I did have trouble with it, I think, because like I said, I wanted to go for a certain look and I just felt like I wasn't achieving it. So I tried a few different things here, and I started in the living room. I wanted there to be a fireplace. I wanted it to look like it had kind of like this pebble stoning around it. However, with the particular fireplace I was using, it didn't really make a difference. And I tried to use these sofas from Eco Lifestyle, but I just really wasn't liking how it was coming together. I didn't like the mixture of wood tones that I was going for, and I really couldn't find curtains that met the vibe either. So I tried to use these from Cats and Dogs, but then I ended up gravitating towards the couches from Cats and Dogs, and then it just looked like, I don't know, it just looked like a grandparent's home, which there's nothing wrong with, but it just really wasn't what I was going for. And then I started using a lot of colors I think that resembled or kind of symbolized the season of fall, and just was not the vibe I was going for. So here's my second attempt, but I wanted to keep that first attempt in just because I think I get a lot of questions about, how do you come up with this stuff so fast? Like, how do you do this? And it is trial and error. I only show you the film that I want to show you. Like, I don't show you all of my attempts at all of the things, and I wanted to keep at least one in there for this build in particular because I really did struggle with this one. I think I did it over the course of like 3 or 4 days, which is why it ended up being put on the channel after my break, because I was working on it through, I don't know, the last like week before my break, and it was not coming together at all. And I was like totally displeased with myself. So here's the finished product after I worked through a lot of the issues that I was having with trying to decorate it. And I really liked the color tone and the color scheme, I should say, that I ended up using. It's kind of like some yellows, whites, and soft creams, which wasn't my original thought, but I do like how it pieced together. And of course I used my favorite couch, which is this one from Cats and Dogs, though it is like a very, I don't know, it's a very narrow competition with the unlocked one from Base Game 2 because it's so simple. I don't know, I just really like simple furniture, and I really like the Cats and Dogs one. You guys probably tell because of the pillows too. We don't have a lot of couches with pillows that one, look really cozy, or even couches with pillows, to be frank. So I kind of wish we had more of those, but I am cluttering up the coffee table right now and just adding a lot of personalized items. I really loved kind of, I don't know, divvying up this living room too, because it was a bit long. I always end up with long living rooms, and I don't know why I end up doing this. I also try to diversify my floor plans a lot, and sometimes I just can't. I have to be honest, like sometimes I just cannot do it, but I think I kind of did it here. And there is like this little window seat over here, not an actual window seat, but I use these ottomans near the window to kind of create this little, I don't know, I would consider it kind of like a reading nook. And I thought it was really sweet, though the colors didn't match exactly how I wanted them to. I still think that the room came together nicely. There was a balance of clutter and personalization, in my opinion, so it wasn't too crazy. But then I end up kind of working on, I believe, this little entryway, because the entryways for me are a bit of a challenge because I'm always gravitating towards the same objects. I'm like, oh, put a coat rack, put a chair, put a side table, put a light, put, I don't know, this little like mudroom item, put a painting. I mean, you could say that maybe for every room, but I just really wanted to get it out of the way, honestly, and I didn't want to think about it too much. I wanted to just grab items and put them down and say, all right, that looks good enough, because you know what? When I'm out trying to shop for decorations or furniture, I don't do it all at once for like my entire home. I kind of pick things up every so often here and there and toss them places where I think they look nice. So that was kind of my thought process in grabbing items and just tossing them here in the entryway. I also used that like no shoe sign from Snowy Escape, and now I don't know if that means that your Sims will be more inclined to take off their shoes, or if that literally makes them take off their shoes. I have no idea. I didn't really play test that aspect. I honestly just teleported my Sim into, well, actually, no, I didn't teleport. That would be silly, because then I wouldn't be playtesting it. Sometimes I do teleport my Sims here and there, but I actually put my Sim in this house, of course, playtested it like I always do. However, I noticed that they didn't take off their shoes, so I'm not sure if that was like the Sim's decision because of that sign, or if it has no impact whatsoever. I have no clue. But I do like the entryway because I kind of just went with it. It came out, I think, pretty cute. And then this is just kind of a, I suppose you'd call this a hallway. It's kind of where all of the rooms branch off from one another. So you go from the entryway. If you go straight, you go to the dining room. You go right, you go to the kitchen. And if you go left, you end up in the living room. And then I also added these little radiators from the Vampire Game Pack in all of the rooms, because I just thought it kind of made it seem like a little bit more of an older home, which was what I was going for. It looks a little bit weathered. It looks a little bit lived in, obviously, but I wanted it to be a little bit older as well. So I thought the radiators were kind of a nice touch. And now we're on to the kitchen, which is very white and cream. Could not even avoid it, very white and cream. And the kitchen was also a point of contention for me, because the first time I actually worked on the kitchen, which I didn't include in this, was very purple and green, which I don't even know where those colors came from. I'm thinking like Barney, but for the love of God, no thank you. Like, I don't want a Barney kitchen. That sounds like my nightmare. I don't want that. I say my nightmare. When I was a little kid, like, Barney was my thing, by the way. If you don't know what Barney is, look it up too. It's horrifying. He's a big purple and green monster, but he's got a smile that'll just like cut you to your core. Anyway, I didn't want a Barney kitchen at all, but I did want it to look a little bit more modern and updated, I think, than the rest of the home, but of course still lived in. So I don't know. I made it very personalized to this family having children, of course. So I have that little painted bread box, and then there's like a fruit bowl and modern appliances, because I think in homes, if you're going to get like an older home, more often than not, it's the bathrooms and the kitchen that'll be updated with like appliances and stuff like that, just because those things need to be updated, I suppose, more often than other things, at least from what I've seen in looking at random houses and stuff like that, which a lot of you guys were around while I was actually house hunting with my, at the time, fiance and now husband. And let me just put this out there. We have suspended our search until maybe springtime, because it is bat out there right now. And I did just censor myself, but it is cray cray out there right now. And that is mainly due to the pandemic and all that stuff. But I don't know, it's just too crazy, and the prices are too nuts, at least where we are. Like, they're so inflated. I think people are offering 20 to 30K over an asking price, and they're waiving inspections, and they're waiving the appraisal clause and like all this other stuff. So if you haven't gone through the home buying process, I learned so much by going through this again. This is my second time trying to go through this, actually. I tried to buy a house before I was even with my husband a couple of years ago, and it was also a nightmare. But yeah, it's absolutely nuts, and I don't feel comfortable making a huge investment with waiving all of those very important things. And I also don't want to pay like $20,000, $30,000 over an asking price for a house that is not worth that whatsoever. So I'm backing out. Y'all can take those houses. I don't want them. I just figured I'd toss that out there because actually it was a video a couple of weeks ago that was titled Our First Home. A lot of you guys thought that was like me saying that my husband and I got our first home finally, and sadly we have not. However, I just figured I would mention it because it was something I thought of. But now we are working on the dining room, which I really did love. I loved being able to get a longer table in here since this is a family with a few kids. Again, I can't remember exactly, but they have a few kids. So I figured they needed a bigger space to really sit down and enjoy each other's company and meals, and not just at a bar in the kitchen. Though I do like adding kind of like the bar countertops with some bar stools in the kitchen because it's just kind of an informal place to hang out and like enjoy coffee, do homework, have a snack after school, stuff like that, which I always had fond memories of at my house. But now I'm working on the downstairs bathroom, which there is a stacked washer and dryer in here. And the bathroom setup is a bit odd, but it's mainly because of that window and I really didn't want to move it. So I just kind of worked with the space that I had. And now we're working on the upstairs. And this floor plan was a little bit easier to work out, I think. With the way in which I build homes, sometimes a lot of the rooms are just very squared off. So I kind of finagled this one just a little tiny bit just to make it work for me, I think. And that was done by kind of creating a fake little, well, it's not really fake, but I mean, it's real, like it's there, but I don't know, like this little hallway area that kind of branches off to the two other rooms. And then there's a bathroom right there and another bathroom upstairs. So it is a kind of like 2.5 bedroom or 2.5 bathroom, I should say. And then it's a 3-bedroom home. So now I remember, now that I see it. And I also did use the fence tool to kind of create this open staircase area. And now I will admit I have to do a lot of work on my save file now. And that makes me sad just because that work really pertains to these big open staircases, because with the recent update, that fencing trick and the removal of the floor no longer works. Your Sims cannot route themselves up the stairs, and I don't know why. I know that there is a way to fix it. I just have not looked it up yet. So if you do know how to fix it, please let me know in the comments down below, because I have no clue. And in building this, like when I actually built this, it was before that update and it wasn't a problem. My Sims were able to get up the stairs with zero issue. So now I'm a little nervous that they're not going to be able to. And I really have to go back through my save file now, at least, the Willow Creek save file that I had. And I have to fix any of those that are no longer working, which is kind of a bummer. It's going to be a lot of just tedious work, I think. And since I mentioned my save file, I am still working on it. Oasis Springs should be done fairly soon. I don't want to even put out like a month that I anticipate it being done now, because I have done that 2 or 3 times now and it was not done. Because basically how I'm doing it, if you guys aren't aware, is I am building a full save file, and that means every single world, every single lot. I'm not doing renovations. I am literally building everything from scratch. I'm filling all of the houses with custom Sims, creating relationships, clubs, like all that stuff. And that's a huge, huge lift, which I want to do. However, I pretty much just work in worlds when I feel inspired to do so. So I'm not forcing myself to finish Oasis Springs. And that's why it hasn't been done yet, because I have not felt inspired whatsoever to build in that world, or more so to finish the lots that I have in that world, because I have like the land grab mansion, a huge Mediterranean home, and I think like a trailer or 2. And that's it. So like I have the park done. I have a lot of the community lots done. A lot of the other bigger like mid-century homes are done. So that's kind of nice. But the land grab mansion is literally the bane of my existence right now. I despise it. I can't think of anything. I can't think of any shape. There's no inspiration. I'm not a fan of the land grabs. I'm just going to put that one out there. I don't like them. Therefore, I don't want to build them a giant home, but I really have to do it. And I think that's really the thorn in my foot, if that's a saying. I don't freaking know if that's a saying, but that is pretty much what's bothering me right now. So it is coming. It is. I promise it will be done very, very soon. And then I will be doing the release of basically like, I think version 1.1 is what I'm going to call it. I don't really want to go to like version 2 because there's so many worlds. I'll have like version 9 or 10 or something by the time it's all done. So probably like version 1.1, and it'll include Willow Creek and Oasis Springs. So just know I'm working on it, and now I will actually get back to the build because I talked all the way through the parents' master bedroom where there was a baby bassinet. So I was envisioning that this family has a brand new baby, and then they have 2 children in this room, and then I believe there's a teenager's room. And basically what I think happened is this family, you know, had their 3 kids. I think it's a teenager's room. Oh gosh, they might even have 4 kids. I can't even remember. We'll find out when we get to the next bedroom. But yeah, I think that they had like all of their kids and they were like, cool, like no more, we're done. Then they bought this dream home, and it's where they could do a lot of their gardening, and the kids could have a lot of space to like go out and run around. And then all of a sudden, they found out, oh no, we are pregnant again. So they just tossed the bassinet in their room, and now they're sitting there being like, well, this baby's going to, you know, just grow, like they're going to get older. And that means that we have to find a bedroom for them, but we don't really have one. So it means squishing this toddler in, or future toddler, in with their siblings who are a little bit older than them and trying to find space. So that's kind of a struggle, not going to lie, right? That would be a little bit challenging if you just bought like your dream home and then you grew out of it unexpectedly. So that could be happening. Who knows? But maybe actually, am I wrong? Is that the only other bedroom? Am I crazy? I'm not crazy, am I? Oh my gosh, I'm crazy. So they do only have 2 kids, and then they had a baby, but they don't have an extra bedroom. That was it. They don't have another bedroom. So they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to have a toddler soon, and we're going to have to cram that toddler in with their older siblings. That is it, because now I'm just working on bathrooms. So there's that. Just ignore me. This is why I should record voiceovers closer to the time that I actually build particular builds, because I forget everything. I build so often. I can't remember everything. I also can't even, like half the time I don't even remember what day it was yesterday or what I had for breakfast. So memory is bad. No, oh my God, I was right. This is just an evolution of me discovering what I built. They do have 2 other kids. Okay, I'm not nuts. They have 4 kids already, and then they had a baby. That's what happened. We're going to leave it at that. But anyway, so embarrassing. This room is basically very red and orange. The other one was kind of like purple and blue. So I just kind of stuck with color schemes, but I wasn't really sure, you know, what they had for children. I didn't know if they had like a certain amount of girls or boys or whatever, because it really doesn't matter. This could be for any children, any of them. It doesn't matter at all. But this is pretty much the end of the build. So I hope you guys did enjoy this one. I'm so excited to be back in a brand new year, and I'm very much looking forward to things to come this year. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself you'd be breaking every vow. I can understand you're tired of this town, and I'm not saying that we have to settle down now. Just remember this: we could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there. Made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do. And I'll be out there looking for someone like you. Stardust, stardust. I'm the lazy one, so I guess I should have known. You said yourself you wanna do this alone. What if your dreams are making it hard to think straight? If you still love me, I can wait, I can wait. And remember this: we could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there. Made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you for someone like you. I don't think you're supposed to go. Maybe I'm just too slow. We should just leave together. We could have been smarter.